On this episode of Hudson Valley Hustle, I'm joined by Kevin Wilson, owner of Relax at Home Massage. If you're looking to take your side hustle full time, this is a great episode for you. But before we jump into the episode, if your business is struggling with social media or has no video content to share with the world, give us a call. We help businesses in the Hudson Valley and beyond go viral every single day and get lots of leads and customers from it. Enjoy the episode. I think my first question would be to you as a massage therapist is, how do I get rid of this pain in my neck and my lower back?
Easiest thing, if it's something you want to do for yourself, is to, you want to institute like some stretching.
My trainer tells me I got to stretch every day and I don't. So it's all my fault.
Yeah, it's the stuff we know you got to do, that you just got to take the time out to do it. So you want to be diligent about, taking the proper steps and making sure, your body's in the optimal, performance.
Yeah. So is that something that could be worked out in a session though?
Yeah, absolutely. I always like to incorporate stretching in my sessions if that's something that the client's, open to or looking for. Some people don't want it. So, I don't implement those types of things. But as far as, getting out the pain in the neck and the back, I always like to address whatever issues that the client might be having, either at that day or what's been going on for the last couple of days, or even like chronic conditions that's been bothering them for, could be several years in some instances. Do
you get a lot of people that are like, oh my God, that feels amazing, like after an hour? Or is it take a little bit of time for it to?
I mean, yeah, in a lot of instances, the relief can be immediate. In a lot of, other cases where it's more of a process, it'll take a couple of sessions before they really start to feel, like they're in a much better place. But as far as, there is always going to be like some immediate relief. It's just a matter of scale. It's just going to be just a little bit better, or it's like, wow, I don't feel any pain anymore.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's just tightness, man. Like it's just like right this whole spot right here.
Yeah. So definitely some stretching. Look at that. If it's something you want to do for yourself, some stretching. Some people like the massage guns. But if it's something in a session, I can definitely take care of that for you.
That's good. All right, I'm gonna have to work out something after this or something. But so you're primarily a mobile massage therapist.
Correct.
So you travel to people's houses, offices.
Yeah, houses, offices, hotel rooms. We also do like events. Biggest thing that I've done so far was like a bridal shower that was set up.
Really?
Yeah, it was me and 19 bridesmaids. So it was a fun day.
That's gotta be like an all day thing at that point, right?
It's about 5-6 hours.
Yeah.
It was just, everybody just wanted to do like foot massages and hand massages for our guests, because everybody was getting hair and makeup done. So it wasn't a situation where people were going to be either face down on the table or face down in a massage chair. So she just wanted something where it was just like a little treat for her bridesmaids. Cool. Like no one knew that I was coming, but everyone was so happy that I was there.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's really cool. So you've been on your own for a couple of years doing this like full time, you said, right?
Yes. So I started my business back in 2012 after being in the spa world for about 5 years. So it was about 5 years into my massage career that I decided like this dynamic isn't working for me. I needed to do something a little different. So I was at that point where, I knew I loved the work, but like, again, the dynamic just wasn't working. So I had to figure something out, and said, okay, I don't have the funds to open up my own spa. I don't have the clientele to keep a spa going, but I got a car and a table. And I figured, hey, I can make this work.
Nice. When you say the dynamic wasn't working, so you were working in a spa setting.
Right.
What do you mean by the dynamic wasn't really working?
Well, they used to like to have their place fully staffed for the potential client, not that they were always fully booked. When I started there in 2008, this was like before the crash at that time, I was only working there on the weekends, and I was always fully booked. Then over time, that dynamic just kind of dwindled down slowly but surely. And then I was finding myself like, I would call. It's like, you only got one today. I'm like, I give it to somebody else. I'll take the day off. And then it would just be like, I took a whole summer off because like there was no work. And then like enough of that, I'm just like, I need to figure something out. And that's how Relax at Home Massage was started.
So you started that, was it started on the side? Like, were you doing it while you were working there in conjunction with that?
I was doing it while I was working there and still while I was at my day job
Gotcha.
also, which was I was a project manager at Montefiore Medical Center.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was like kind of completely separate from what you were
so
doing.
at
Gotcha.
that point, it was like 3 jobs, 7 days a week. So Monday through Friday, and then I had the weekend, and then trying to figure out what I could do for myself during the weekends. I mean, during the evenings, after my day job.
Gotcha. So you were working the 9 to 5, the 5 to 9, and the
then
Saturday,
weekends.
Sunday.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good. That's so you're no stranger to the to hustling and like making it happen, right?
Yeah, not at all. No stranger to the grind.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, it's legit. So do you so you were doing this on the side. What made you finally get to the point where you were like, I'm quitting the day job, I'm quitting the spa life, and I'm just gonna do this full time?
The spa life, that was easy. It was like, okay, I was only there on the weekends, and then once I started to see, okay, I can make more for myself once I got rid of that. So that was an easy transition. I probably did the spa while growing my own business for about a year before I eventually just cut the spa life out. Fast forward, it was about year 10 of doing my day job and running my business where I decided, okay, it was time for me to again make a change. And what brought that about was the birth of my daughter. So I was at a point where I was already making a lot more working for myself than I was at the hospital. But that came with stability, benefits, and
Sure.
all the works.
The golden handcuffs.
Right. Yes. Good. Yes. I like that term. So what happened was, I needed to make a switch. I liked, I was fortunate where I really liked my boss. I liked my coworkers. So I didn't have that beef that some people have at work where it's like they just hate what they do and they don't want to be there. Like I didn't have that, So that's probably why I stayed as long as I did, because it was such a good dynamic. But it was at a point where, okay, I want to be more of a family man. So I need to do less of this block of time and more of this flexible time. And so originally it was going to be, a switch where it was like, okay, you can maybe go into a consultant position or per diem or something like that. But then once COVID hit and things changed, it was like, well, that's no longer on the table. And I'm like, okay, well, it's been real. So, and that was that. But, I still have a great relationship with my boss and a lot of my old coworkers. So, definitely a situation where if I ever had to go back, I'm sure they would welcome me with open arms. So
don't burn bridges. That's
don't burn bridges at all.
Yeah. So you were basically making what you were making at your full-time job, like your day job, I'll say, while you were earning the same at the Relax at Home?
I would say by about year 3 into running my business on the side, I was neck and neck. And then about year 4, I was over. And then by the time I hit year 5, it was almost like, why am I still here? But again, there was that bit of, level of comfort with there's only but so much physically that I can do in a week. So it kind of kept me at a good place.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, because at that point you're working 2 full-time things,
right?
And you're running your own thing and doing it for somebody else. It's easy to get burnt out too when you're doing that. But I think but you did it smart in that you waited for the time where the income actually matched before taking that leap. So so lifestyle wise, it probably wasn't as big of a oh my God, like what the hell do I do type of moment, right?
Yeah. By the time I left, I knew I only needed to make X amount of more sessions per week to cover what my take home was going to be.
Sure.
Yeah. So it was an easy transition.
That's good. Yeah. Because a lot of people, I think what they do is they think I have this great idea. I don't have any customers yet, but I hate where I'm at. Let me go try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's kind of just the wrong way to do it, in my opinion. But I was in a similar situation as you, because I was, I'm not in because I did not like where I was working, but I, made sure that I was able to at least match what I was earning before taking that leap to starting from scratch, because it's scary, man.
Yeah,
it's a scary thing to do.
Yeah. At that point we had moved, we built a house. So definitely needed to have that level of, all right, comfort. But that also took, confidence from my wife to, feel good enough to know like, okay, we can do this, and you're not going to let us fail.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think somebody trying to take that leap needs that support from their spouse if they're married or with somebody?
I would say yes. I mean, I know if I didn't have that support, I might have did it anyway. But I think I think that having it definitely made it an easier choice, because I think at that point I might have then started to resent situations. So I might have like, okay, knowing that I didn't want to be at the day job, I might have felt differently about it. So then it might have just, created a domino effect. But thankfully I didn't have that, that hurdle to climb.
Yeah, of course. No, because then, yeah, like you said, you start to resent, and when you don't have that kind of support at home, you feel like, what am I doing this for? It's a lot harder to get motivated. It can stifle you. It really can. So having that, like, you got like a cheerleader in your corner saying like, go, go, go. It's super helpful.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
Yeah. So where do you get a lot of your customers from now? Not necessarily geographically, but talk to me about how you market yourself and how do you get the word out about what it is that you do?
I always say it's Lord Algo. So algorithm.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of Google, Yelp, not so much social media these days, but I guess because in my industry, a lot of people are wanting to look at reviews first, and then so like for me, so like my Google and my Yelp pages are all 5-star. Luckily, for being in business for 12 plus years now, to have nothing but 5-star ratings in this industry is, I guess is a bit of a testament to the level of work and care that I give to my customers. So a lot of people will say, I found you, I saw your reviews, and, then I checked out your social media. So for me, it's a little bit of the reverse, where I just haven't built that social media piece up so much yet, just because I was working so much. And then again, it was only so much that I could do. So I never wanted to try to bring on more than I can handle. Yeah. So, so that's probably where I'm getting most of my leads and customers from. So between Google, Yelp, and like a lot of word of mouth.
Yeah, that's good. I that kind of makes sense though, because it's not like you have a spa that somebody can walk into.
Right.
That's, in a public place, in a public setting. You're getting invited into their house, right? So there has to be a little bit more of a level of trust beforehand, and I think that's what reviews do a really good job of. Is they kind of tear down those walls a little bit of that mistrust.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so like I said, a lot of times it's people saw your reviews online. Just everything was great, so I wanted to give you a try.
Yeah. What about? Tell me about Yelp a little bit, because I personally despise the company. It's not a great organization sometimes, but you're the first person that's told me that they see success from Yelp. So where's that coming from? I'm just curious.
So I probably, like you, I do have my issues with them. Like, I'll never run ads with them.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, are you because they probably call you weekly.
They stopped.
Did they?
Yeah,
okay, good.
Okay. I'm like, okay, if you're going to just ask me to spend more money on something that didn't work before, then just
sure.
So I just started running ads on Google and Yelp, just because the type of business that I run, people don't necessarily read. So they'll put in a search, they'll say, massage, and then I'll pop up, and where are you located? I'm like, it's a mobile service. Oh, right. I'm looking for somewhere to go. So then I would just run through my ad budget of junk calls.
Yep.
So I just stopped, and I may be missing a few here and there.
Oh no, it's going to be a thing anyway.
Okay.
It's all good.
So, I may be missing a couple of good hits here and there, but I'd rather not be wasting money on garbage. So
sure,
I stopped running ads on Google, Yelp, just because it just wasn't working. I never could work with someone to kind of hammer down targeting exactly the type of client that was looking for the service that I provide. It was just anyone looking for a massage. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and the algorithms do a really good job of spending your budget no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Like no matter what, you can increase as much as you want. They'll figure out a way to spend it on you. Like that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
But that's really interesting. So are they they're finding you on Yelp, reading reviews, and then calling you directly.
So,
There's like a tracking number or something. Like, how does that work?
It's more of an organic thing where how Yelp and Google works is like the ads will pop up on top, and most people, if they're really looking for something, they'll really start to look for the reviews. So they'll actually scroll down. So that's when I'll get the people that'll stumble upon my pages. So they've gone through a bunch of different companies, a bunch of different reviews, and it's like, oh wow, like this guy, and I really want to give this a try.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, you're the first person that's told me, like, I get a lot of leads from Yelp. I like Yelp. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm like, do you work for them? Like, no. No, that's good though, because again, I guess it could be a tool when you need that social proof, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it provides.
Yeah, for sure. So is it just you?
No.
Right now,
primarily, I do most of the work, but I do have a couple of really good therapists that have been working with me for a while, but on a contractor basis.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got a couple in the city, a couple in Westchester.
Cool.
1 or 2 like in the Dutchess region, and somebody in Connecticut and somebody in Jersey. So,
gotcha. So you've expanded pretty well. That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. So as far as like, so that's the actual massage work, right? So these are therapists that work for you that go out and actually take care of clients and customers.
Yeah. So a lot of times it's people are looking for specifically a female,
Gotcha.
That, right. So and then there's areas where if I'm booked already, or if it's somebody that wants to do a couples massage, or if it's an office function and they have like 50 employees and they want to bang it out in like 2 or 3 hours, then, I wouldn't have to bring in another therapist or 2 for something like that as well. So just, just having the right amount of people for the type of requests that I'm getting at this point, but still trying to grow the team. And like, eventually I want to, start to hit to some other major cities outside of the tri-state area.
That's great. Yeah. So you're covered as far as taking care of customers go, but what about the back end of things? So like when you're working for yourself, especially when you're starting out, you're the accountant, the marketer, the HR person, like is that all you? That's pretty much
still the case. Yeah.
Is it? Okay, cool. How are you balancing all that? What's some advice you can give to somebody trying to figure all that crap out? Cause it's a lot.
I guess it just takes a lot of time and dedication. And like even probably the biggest part is like trying to grow like the social aspect outside of what I'm getting organically from customers that I have worked with in the past with being with reviews and things like that. So just trying to make myself as familiar as possible with all the other aspects. So it just takes a lot of time.
Was that something that you had realized before going out fully on your own, or was it something that you got into it and you were just like, oh no?
It's more the latter.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a necessary evil in terms of like social media, where it's like I didn't start out thinking that this was something I would be spending this much time on, but here we are.
But you have to, yeah. If you're not, unless you hire somebody to do it, right? That's basically it.
Which I've tried in the past, and yeah.
Okay.
I've also tried different like CRM platforms, which they all sound good in the beginning, which it's client retention management platforms, and they all sound great in the beginning. They always all make a bunch of promises, but then in the end, it's like, okay, I really don't need all of this. So it just becomes either a waste of money, and then I move on to something else. So either like just stop it altogether, and then so that also just takes a bit of time, and because you have to research, and you have to, once you make a decision, you have to try it out for a bit, and then which kind of sucks, because like you have to get fully ingrained in a system to realize that, oh my God, this is not for me. You're getting fully trained, spending all this time getting everything in, and then it doesn't work. Is there something that you find that works good for you now as at your level? In terms of,
as far as like CRM, like a system that manages all that for you?
I'm actually going to look for another one in the process of looking for another one.
So you're just still kind of trying to find that the magic one that works. I got you. How'd you deal with being able to trust other people with your customers? Because that's something that I think a lot of solopreneurs in the beginning, once they start to bring more team members on, they're like, are they going to treat my customers the same way that I would? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, so most of the therapists that I've that work with me now, they've either worked on me, or I've known for a few years, or were referred from one of the therapists who also work with me.
Okay.
So that's where I put my trust. So past experience, and then again with the referrals.
So were you okay with kind of letting go of some of that control, or is that hard for you?
Not at first, because it's like when you're building your name, then it's all you. So yeah, it was a little hard to let some of that control go. But now, I'm at a point now. It's like, oh yeah, I can't do this. Let me call Dallas. Oh, I can't do this. Let me call Albert.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see if Misha's available. Yeah. So yeah, it's really nice now that in these instances where if I'm going to be gone for a week, or somebody else just wants something I just geographically I can't get to a location, then it's just easier to be able to reach out to a handful of therapists to see if what their schedule's like, if they can take something on.
Yep. Yeah, you can't be in the Bronx and Hopewell at 4 o'clock today at the same exact time. It's impossible. And that's a tough thing. I think a lot of I think entrepreneurs need to be aware of is that when you're essentially trading your own time for money, the problem is you eventually run out of time, and you get capped. So being able to outsource and basically duplicate yourself, for lack of a better term, you can be in 4 different places at once. Right,
exactly. Yeah. So, and even with all the other therapists, when they've gotten reviews on Google and Yelp, again, it's all been 5 stars. So, again,
does that feel good? That's got to feel good to you, right?
Absolutely.
Because they're mentioning other people that are not you, under your company name.
Right. Yeah. It's an awesome feeling. And, whenever I do, I always be sure to do a screenshot, send it off to them right away. So they get that a bit of that feeling also.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really good. We're so you've been on your own fully for 2 years now, you said, right? Yeah. So where do you see it going 5-10 years from now?
Just continuing to grow. Like I said, wanting to get into other major cities.
Gotcha. Okay. Like in the tri-state area or beyond that?
Outside of the tri-state area.
Okay.
Touching into something on the West Coast and the South.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So definitely.
Is that because you want to get out there to yourself, or is it like
it would give us a reason to do a little bit more traveling and
nice.
Plant your flag and then try to grow in different areas.
That's cool. How is how do you think? Well, how has being your own boss and having a little bit more flexibility impacted the family life?
I think it's been amazing. Again, coming from working 7 days a week to working now 4, sometimes 5, and the occasional 6 or 7. But even then, it's a different flow. So I get to have a little bit of family time every day, and I'm up with my daughter every morning, getting her ready for.
That's great.
Getting her ready for pre-K. Then we have family time on the weekends. It's just been great, which if I hadn't made that transition, I wouldn't be able to have that. So just thinking back, I would have friends, people tell me like, oh, you need to spend more time and enjoying life. And it's like knowing that I'm working towards something and having that now, it's just all the more rewarding.
Yeah, and it's different when you're doing it for yourself too, right? Because
it's
directly benefiting your family and the time that you get to spend with them. That's awesome. That's awesome. So if somebody wants to book a massage with you or one of your therapists, how does somebody get in touch with you? Where can they do that? Can they book online? Like what's the process like?
So we don't offer online booking right now, just because with logistics it's a little hard.
Okay.
So easiest is like a direct contact.
Okay.
So they can send a request through my website or, DM on social, and then we take it from there, or just a direct phone call or text.
Do they get in touch with you directly?
Yes.
If so, somebody calls they're getting Kevin?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because sometimes if I just happen to be up late and someone's just scrolling late and then a message will pop up at 4 a.m, and I just happen to be up.
Yeah.
And I respond.
Oh, that's funny. They're like, whoa, this guy's dedicated. Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, I can't do that.
And a lot of times, when people are looking, they may, reach out to a couple of different people at once. And it's like, well, yeah, it was your level of responsiveness that made me decide to go with you. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's great. So yeah, get in touch. What's the website? What's your website?
It's Relax at Home Massage, or one word. So relaxathomemassage.com. And it's the same on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Sweet. Yeah.
Nice, man. That's cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for everything. Good luck to you. Congrats on everything so far.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.